It's the 14th of October in the year 2025. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning News. And this bulletin, of course, is coming to you live from the News Hub here at Adesawe Kanda. We are live on Facebook. It's TV3 Ghana. And on DSTV, it's channel 279. My name is George Quinning. Top of the stories is that. Former National Service Authority Director Osei Esibi and his deputy Gift are charged for stealing and causing financial loss to the state. Health Minister Kwabena Minta-Kando says government will clear all outstanding salary arrears owed to nurses and midwives by November this year. Also coming up this morning, President John Dramani Mahama calls for stronger South-South collaboration between Ghana and China following recent global uncertainties. Well, we have details of these stories and many more coming up in the next 20 minutes if you spend your time with me. Remember, we are active on Facebook. You can also get interactive with us. It's TV3 Ghana. And now let's begin from here. Former Executive Director of the National Service Authority, together with his deputy, Gift Mensah, is facing multiple charges, including stealing, causing financial loss to the state, and using public office for profit for allegedly orchestrating a 38.4 million cedi fraud involving ghost names and fake hire purchase loans through the National Service Authority's marketplace platform. As the charges sheet filed by the Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayini on Monday, October 13, also lists 14 counts of offences, including stealing, causing financial loss to the state, and money laundering against the former Executive Director Osei Esibi. Per the charge sheet, the former NSA boss allegedly authorized payment to over 60,000 non-existent national service personnel and misappropriated public funds during his tenure between August 2021 and February 2025. And lawyers for Professor Christopher Ameyaw-Kumfi, the former board chair of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, have withdrawn their services. And this was disclosed by Justice Kokuvi Tay, presiding judge in the SkyTrain trial. Professor Ameyaw-Kumfi and the former CEO of GIF, Solomon Asamoah, are facing multiple charges, including causing financial loss to the state for their roles in the botched Accra SkyTrain project.
When the case was called on Monday, October 13, Professor Ameyaw-Kumfi notified the court that his lawyer would not be present. After being prodded by the judge, he indicated that there had been a misunderstanding between him and his counsel, a matter which he added that he was hopeful would be resolved soon. But Justice Audrey Kokuvite indicated that the court had received a letter from the lawyers stating withdrawal of their services. The case was adjourned to Monday, October 20, after Deputy Attorney General Dr. Justice Remsai indicated that the defense lawyers had filed an application which needed to be moved. At the last adjourned date, the defense lawyers moved a motion which would compel the prosecution to disclose documents they argued contained minutes of board and committee meetings, exculpatory material necessary to challenge the prosecution's claim that the investment lacked the required authorization.
That application was dismissed by the courts. They have since filed an appeal and continued to file an application to stay proceedings pending that appeal. The case is back in court on Monday, October 20. Lord Rasari, TV3 News, Accra.
And now the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has disclosed that he knows the Member of Parliament who voted to elect him as Speaker of the 8th Parliament. He has dismissed claims that former Dom Kwabena MP Adwoa Safo secretly voted in his favor, stating that those allegations are false. Christian Yale reports.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin's office, was busy on Monday when he received different delegations for different conversations throughout the day. The first was the family of the late Apostle Dr. Kwadwo Safo Kantanka, led by his daughter, the former MP for Dom Kwabena, Sarah Adwoa Safo, who came to formally inform the Speaker about the passing and funeral arrangement for the late Ghanaian icon. During the engagement, the Speaker revisited a controversy and stated that it is never true on any day that Adwoa Safo voted him to become the Speaker of the 8th Parliament.
I call her my daughter because the time I used to come there, she was a small girl. So I started calling her my daughter before she joined politics and came to join me in parliament. And she remained my daughter, but we belong to different political traditions. So because she's my daughter and we love each other, even when I was contesting to be speaker, they thought she voted for me. I want to assure all of you that she didn't vote for me.
This led to a series of controversies in which even members of the New Patriotic Party described Adwoa Safo as a traitor for voting secretly in favor of NDC's Alban Bagbin.
That was a false accusation, and she suffered the consequences. She voted for the position of her party, not for me. I'm using this opportunity to dispel that decision because it's still hanging around and people are still using it against her. Because I know those who voted for me. I've been in this system for long. And I know the business of politics.
The family then went ahead to formally communicate to the speaker about the passing of their beloved.
You were part of his family. You were his brother. And you even knew him before I entered Parliament. And so it's only proper that as a family we come and inform you. That's why we're here. And as you said, we're here to take directions, we're here to take instructions, we're here to take advice from you as the father that he left behind for us, so that we can all together plan a befitting burial and funeral for your brother.
Later in the day, a different delegation led by the MP for Gomoa Central, Kwame Asare-Obeng A+, and other dignitaries from the Gomoa Ejumako traditional area paid a courtesy call on the speaker to formally invite him to the launch of the Gomoa Industrial Park. Parliament is expected to resume on Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. Already, expectations are high for the presentation of the 2026 budget by the Minister for Finance, Christian Yale. TV3 News, Parliament.
Well, away from Parliament, President John Dramani Mahama has called on countries that share common values and interests to unite in the face of global trade challenges. His comments come after Ghana was hit with a 15% tariff on its exports to the United States following a new trade order. In a bilateral meeting with our Premier of the State Council of China, Li Xiang, during his state visit to the People's Republic of China, President John Dramani Mahama reiterated his concerns about the U.S. trade policies. Take a listen.
The world is changing rapidly after the Second World War. We all agreed that we would adopt a multilateral world order. Unfortunately, some countries have decided to act unilaterally, both in terms of their relationship with other countries, but also in terms of destroying the rules-based world trade order that we all had agreed to. And so countries are slapping tariffs unilaterally on other countries. My own country, Ghana, has not been spared. We've been slapped with 15% tariffs, but I'm sure that is far less than China has been slapped with. And so it's creating a lot of confusion and unpredictability in the whole world. But this is a time that countries that have shared values must stand together. And Ghana and China have had shared values. We have voted in international organizations on the same side. And so as the world becomes more unpredictable, there's a time that countries like Ghana and China and other willing partners that believe in multilateralism should stand even closer together. And we appreciate the work that China is doing in that regard. Let me congratulate China and to thank you for the support you continue to give to Africa through FOCAC and the Belt and Drive Initiative. These programs are opening up infrastructure that facilitate trade. Especially Africa has adopted the African Continental Free Trade Area. And so it becomes important that we put in the infrastructure, the railways, the ports, the roads, to be able to exchange goods between African countries. And China has been one of the countries that has assisted in.
Well, if you're just tuning in, you're watching the morning news on TV3. In more news this morning, Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta-Kando, has announced that the government will clear all outstanding salary arrears owed to nurses and midwives by November this year. Speaking at a press conference in Accra, amid growing agitations from nurses' unions across the country, the minister revealed that the Ministry of Finance has received cabinet approval to release funds for the payment.
Thousands of health workers, including nurses, midwives, rotational nurses and allied health professionals, have for months been agitating, demanding payment for work done without pay. Responding to their concerns, Health Minister Kwabena Minta-Kando explained that Cabinet has given the green light for the Ministry of Finance to begin payment starting in November.
We inherited a situation where about 13,500 nurses and midwives had been recruited and posted without financial clearance. As I speak to you, about 7,000 out of the 13,500 are being paid. They are on a payroll and they are being paid. That about 6,500, that will add up to the 7,000 already being paid, making 13,500. That allowance, that's over 6,000. Cabinet has approved that starting from November, the Minister for Finance must pay them.
He added that rotational nurses and allied health professionals who previously did not have clearance now do.
We had more than 17,000 rotational nurses, allied health professionals who also didn't have clearance as far as their rotation was concerned. By the grace of God, we have secured clearance for these more than 17,000 health professionals. That was not the only thing. There were issues about conditions of service. You've heard them before. And so we had to onboard them gradually.
Touching on the situation of doctors, the minister noted that the government has successfully secured clearance and commenced the migration of hundreds of unpaid junior doctors onto the public payroll.
We recently had some junior doctors threatening to go on strike. They have started work without clearance, without salaries. And as I speak to you now, we have succeeded in getting them clearance and they are being migrated onto the payroll. We had about 800 medical doctors who had finished their housemanship, but they were still at home without clearance. As I speak to you now, the Ministry of Finance has issued clearance, and all these medical doctors are going to start work with immediate effect. Our priority areas are in the rural areas.
Health workers who were present are hopeful the minister will make good on his word.
We are hoping for the best. We trust his leadership and we are hoping for the best. That's all we can say for now.
With the payment of the arrears, the minister stated that they are going to lay out plans as to when they are going to finish paying the arrears. That's what we are waiting for, the timelines for the payment of the arrears. And when it comes and it is in our favor, we are good to go.
Well, let's know what you make of government decision to clear all arrears of nurses. We are active on Facebook, TV3 Ghana. Engage us with your comments, opinions, reservations. Hopefully read them and share them to the rest of the world. And now, irate youth of Mamobi on Monday morning blocked parts of the road network in protest over its poor condition. The youth have vowed to compel duty bearers to fix the roads, which they say have caused them inconvenience for over a decade. The affected road lies between Ayawaso East and Ayawaso North constituencies. Economic activities of residents have been greatly affected, with long commuting times becoming a daily struggle.
The recent rains on the 9th of October this very year have flooded this very stretch, and I'm reliably informed that an elderly woman actually broke her leg while she dipped her feet in this very pothole, which has been created on the road.
In protest over the poor state of the roads, residents blocked the stretch to vehicles on the morning of Monday, October 13.
We want the leaders, the politicians, whosoever is in high position to see that this is a time for East and North Ayasu, for us to also have our cake. We did our part, which, as you can see the sun, when it rains, everybody here comes out to what? Make sure that the roads, we fix the roads. When it's bad, we come out and fix everything. But yes, still, these politicians are sleeping. Both East and North MPs, they are sleeping. Because of the bad nature of the road, vehicles have to carefully maneuver going to their various destinations. And so it creates a lot of inconvenience and vehicular traffic on this very stretch.
The protest caused heavy traffic in and around Mamobi. Residents say they've been dealing with this situation for more than a decade. The sooner the road is fixed, the better, they insist. George Quinnin, TV3 News, Mamobi, Accra. Well, in more news this morning, some individuals who have turned their school placement resolution process into a business by extorting money from unsuspecting parents have been arrested. And Deputy Coordinator for Free SHS, Dr. Belinda Glover, said the suspects were caught at the main resolution center at Nat Hall and have since been handed over to the police. Nurura Mohammed reports.
School Placement Resolution Center is in its final week of operations and will come to a close on Friday, October 17. Since it commenced operations on September 18, scores of parents with several issues with the placement of their wards flooded the Nat Hall premises to get their issues resolved. However, recent developments have revealed some discrepancies at the Resolution Center where some individuals were caught engaged in fraudulent activities. Deputy Coordinator at the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Belinda Glover, explained.
We are individuals, and then people find it differently to assess or handle technology. Somebody might be good at it. So I think going forward, we might have to intensify the education to the public as to how to confirm their enrollment. Some even come here, and then we have to even, after we have done the changes, we have to help them to, be able to have a look. If not, they'll go and come back again, and they keep populating the place. With the same thing, you do it for somebody, the change is there, but they can't access it. So they come back, and then we have to take them through the entire processes for them to be able to even view that, yes, the change is there.
She also cited the lack of technological know-how by some parents as the major cause of the overcrowding.
We have been able to arrest some of them. In fact, they come with multiple sheets trying to do changes. The ideal thing is you can't have more than 5 children going to secondary school at the same time. So we have been able to track down those people, and then we've managed to hand some of them to the police to deal with them. So far, we have about 2 that we have handed them over to the police. We realize that these people are just collecting money from people and then coming here and using us instead to make money, even because we are here to help the public.
Some parents in their wards shared their experience.
My name is Alo Isaac Wemucho, and I'm here to help my sister get a placement for her school.
Yeah, how was the process like for you?
Well, I believe the staff, they are doing their best, and it was very smooth.
Journalists with my background, journalists are trained to doubt, so I came here with a lot of skepticism, and so I contacted the head of this place. And within minutes, the transfer was done. It was so incredible, and instantly all my doubts evaporated.
Students who still struggle with the resolution of their placement issues are advised to visit the Education Ministry even after school resumes on October 18. Nura Mohammed, TV3 News, Accra.
Education government is intensifying science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM education in regions like Western North, equipping students with skills to turn local resources into innovation. This practical approach to learning is aimed at closing the gap between classroom theory and the application of science to solve real-world problems.
Ghana is actively scaling up its STEM efforts, recognizing the necessity of a scientifically literate workforce to compete globally. The dynamic push for STEM is designed to impact millions of students nationwide. Recent government policies have seen the percentage of general science students in senior high schools raise from 12% to 24%. This is a direct attempt to meet the Ministry of Education 60% science-related admission mandate at the tertiary level. Specialized STEM centers are being established across the country, providing dedicated facility for practical instruction in robotics, coding, 3D printing, and engineering science. This is preparing a generation to fill the 9 million digital jobs and leverage the nearly $4 billion revenue potential projected for Ghana's digital economy by 2030.
It practicalizes what the students, hitherto has been abstract to them. I think the students having access to that headset will enable them to be able to visualize and build concepts around, practical issues that affect our daily lives.
For the youth in the Western North region, this practical turn in STEM education offers a particularly potent advantage.
Western North region, as I've already said, has a very huge advantage because of where we find ourselves, the resources, the environment. I mean, it gives us a leverage in terms of our technological advancement.
The integration of practical hands-on STEM ensures that the Western North region, with its unique environmental leverage, is not just a source of raw materials, but a cradle for the next generation of Ghanaian technological pioneers.
Let the experiences you gain here not end on Friday, but fuel your studies and your dreams for years to come.
Most of the youth, some just finished JHS or some just finished SHS. So we are also trying to accommodate the community together with the students.
On that STEM education note, we end the morning news. For more news updates, just log on to our website at 3news.com. Alternatively, you can also follow us on Instagram, 3news.gh, for the latest update. In a world where you can be anything, just be kind. It costs nothing to be kind. My colleague, Joseph Akabli, the latest lawyer in town, is standing by to continue with the morning show. Enjoy morning.
We're
Yeah.
feeling sad.
No, but that's nice.
Apparently it's Stormzy.
Yes. Yeah.
Stormzy. I
Yes.
saw his face. I knew it was Stormzy. The
Yes.
Ghanaian.
British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blinded by Grace.
I love
Apparently
the
it's a
song.
friend to Joseph Akable.
I
just listened to
no,
him.
No, you were humming, singing the song. So I
Yes, I know the song. Yes,
Lawyer Joseph Akable. You can't just call him Akable.
So I don't put pressure on the boy.
Relax for me, small.
Joseph Akable, you're welcome.
Wow. You know how we do it in the media. Lawyer Joseph Akable. Even though when you meet the real lawyer, they tell you that's not how you're supposed to.
Yeah, they don't like us calling them lawyers.
Yeah, but congratulations to you. Since we haven't met on set.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
And hard work pays. It's not easy. Nobody knows the toils, you know.
Thank you.
And so congratulations.
Thank you very much, and thank you to all of our colleagues as well. Some of whom made it their way to the conference center to show their support
that day
on
the
Friday.
traffic was just unbearable.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I also got short videos from lots of people about some of the nice things that all of you were saying.
Yeah.
On the
we showed your picture.
Oh,
yes,
showed your picture, and your photo shoot was not
yes, and
easy.
Oh yeah.
And then in the evening, I was on my bed on TikTok. Then I saw probably you had done a whole video where you took coffee.
No, he woke up
brushing your teeth.
He woke up from bed first.
You were brushing your teeth. You were brushing your teeth. Then you went to the washroom.
Yes.
Came back, removed your robe.
Yes.
And your bed was white because in the house our beds are not white. So I was wondering. I said, Joseph, and the house looked, and you were descending from a stairs. I said, this luxurious new lawyer. But congratulations to you.
Yes.
Not to tease you in error. This is not to tease you.
Yeah, very lovely.
And I didn't know you really knew how to create content. Continue.
Yeah.
I hope you've done 3 more.
Oh, he did. I think I saw 2 more.
This guy is anticipatory.
I saw 2 more. Yes.
Not at all.
And he's trending on Facebook and the rest.
Anyway,
wow. When can I sin against you?
Beatrice, is this by Eddie Joy?
Yes, Eddie Joy.
Okay. Where are they located?
That's Suman La Road, East Legon, and on social media you can get
Charlie,
them.
but you really look beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Eddie Joy _closet.
You're glowing.
Thank you, Roland.
Great.
Thank you.
Mine is by Elizabeth, and Ellis Couture is based in Site 3, Tema Community 1. Makes a lot of men's as well as unisex kaftans especially. And you can reach her on the number 024 651 6886. What do we have?
Yes. As in for this morning?
Yeah. No, I mean generally for the show. What are you discussing?
Oh, yeah.
We'll be talking mainly about...
What are we doing? Just talk about this.
Yeah, we'll be talking mainly about the boat accident that occurred on
the Volta Lake incident.
Yeah, very unfortunate incident.
Yeah.
What we'll do is that we'll put it within the context of recent occurrences to show that there appears to be a disturbing trend when this happens, and always the casualty rate is very high. We heard from the Ghana Maritime Authority last night explain that the main challenge why the deaths are high is as a result of people not using the life jackets. And so that is where we are going to take the conversation to try and understand what could be done practically to ensure that is addressed. Then beyond that, we'll also discuss the subject of galamsey. Again, we are told a number of treatment plants. It came up during your discussion yesterday. Had been shut down as a result of the fact that it's proven very difficult to treat the water. And so those are the 2 matters that we'll be discussing as well, Roland and Beatrice.
Yeah, but the Vice President, actually, we understand, will be going to the OT region to commiserate with the families of the victims of that boat accident. Very unfortunate incident. And as many as 11 children. I mean, we need to really stop this, whatever it is. Yeah, so...
All right. Now we'll bring you the latest sports headlines as well. Just press that with some great giveaways. We have cash out. It goes with the Shoko Star 439# for as many times as you can. Increase the number of tickets you have. Become one of those lucky winners as always. And every day, Chairman Godwin Tamaklo of the Rates Group Chief Executive said, you're always there. You're always sitting there claiming that you're giving money. Come and let me give you money. Do you have money in your pocket? I say, oh no. But Chairman Godwin Tamaklo, alongside your wife, Alice, and the rest of the family, wish you all the best. And all those Rate Group workers, Jennifer, Emily, everybody else. And then also Managing Director of the Tema Oil Refinery, that's Edmond Combat, and Alaji Jibri of National Security. But we have to do this morning first.
Yes, we have to. But yesterday, you were not here to celebrate the Black Stars with us.
Oh, yes.
After
Congratulations.
our wonderful
Congratulations
win.
to the team. We wish them the very best. We hope that they're able to assemble
the best Ghanaian players on the planet. Yeah, I don't believe in.
On the planet?
Yes, I don't believe in the people who say that only those who played the qualifiers. You know, there's that debate already.
I agree.
I don't believe in that. I mean, if you have any business at any point
Kevin
in time,
Prince
you
Boateng
always pick the best
example.
your best foot forward. You pick your best foot forward always, not who started the work with you, not who came in at what point.
Yeah.
Whatever task needs to be done, you get the best. So I think once the team has qualified, it's Ghana that has qualified. We should get the best hands possible to give us the best performance because we want to do well. I think we've gone enough times, 2006, 2010, 2014. We've gone enough times to just go and participate.
So we should bring the couple. Roland,
yes.
Think we can?
No, it's possible. If we assemble the best of the
so that makes the two of us
available.
I don't think we can win the cup. Is that up for debate? Is that what we're talking about?
No, that's not what we're talking about.
This
yeah, this morning, I think we can talk about the boat. The boat incident, what people make of it. What
could be done, especially for those who live along the river.
I wasn't so impressed with the fact that we allowed the boat to be overloaded for it to get into an accident, and now we are putting in measures. Why do we always have to be reactive? There should have been people there. Of course, we had the Ghana Maritime Authority representative last night, but there should have been that strict enforcement of whether you're a child or not. As long as we have the maximum is 15, you should have 15 and do not go beyond that. So we prevent these needless deaths, really. Yeah.
You're right.
So, let's hear from you. What do you think? And what do you think?
I will show you the video.
Lord, I'm amazed. I don't feel describe my feelings. Give me all the love when I need it. Your name is the one more, could I ask for? That's the way that you make me feel. I'll be lying if I say I'm not patient enough. Tell me one more, could I ask for? Blessings flow like a river.
Yes. Why were you not watching yourself?
What's the question again?
Why were you not watching?
Guys, you can call. Please, you can call. For our question of the morning, we're asking you what you make of the boat incident in Ketakrachi or Krachi West, as it is, and what we can do as a country to prevent some of these incidents. They've been happening as long as ever, you know.
Yes, so we just told you about this incident, and I'm sure that you've monitored the news. This happened on Saturday. Unfortunately, 11 children died and 4 adults. The Vice President, we understand, with her entourage, will be going to the Oti region, perhaps even on their way to commiserate with the families of the victims. So tell us what you think, and really, if you've got some proposals for not just the Ghana Maritime Authority, but any other agency that is supposed to ensure safety on our waters. So we do have a caller on the line already. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Idris 24, calling you from Upper West region. Wow.
Yes, sir. Good morning. How is Wa this morning?
Oh, Wa is very fine by the grace of God.
Great.
Let me say good morning to Roland and Akazile.
Yes. Roland, greetings to you.
Good morning.
Blay.
I will say answer to the Wala people, Wala Yansuma, Yajenji 24. And Roland, this boat accident, I would say currently it's normal to the country. Because every single 3 months or every single 2 months, we have it. Especially in the Upper West region. You can remember what happened for the past 2 months. You understand? But the big issue is that, Roland, Ghana, we believe in God say that, God say that, God say that. If not, most of the community that traveling by boat should have been aware that without life jacket, I will not travel by the boat. You understand? Even today, if the government provides every community 1,000 life jackets, I pay you, my sister, but people will travel by the boat without wearing the life jacket. You understand? I will tell you, it is our attitude in Ghana. We believe that what happens has happened. That is our conscience, and which is not true. If we look at where some of the boats also have been traveling, it will be difficult for our government to construct a bridge there. For example, in Dipé, you know the number of times that they have constructed the Dipé bridge that has not done. If you go to the Upper West region, there's a district called Wawet. That is where the people in Chile, the honorable MP in Parliament coming from. There's no bridge there for them to be crossing. You understand?
Yes.
So it is appropriate our Ghana that we should make our mentality that protection is first. As local people will say that provision is better than cure. You understand? So if we don't have that mentality and government bring 1,000 life jackets to each one, but they may use it. You understand? But let me say good morning to the NPP regional chairman Abdulaziz White, wherever he says this morning. I say good morning to him and you too. God bless TV3.
Thank you so much for calling us from WA and the views you've expressed. I mean, obviously, he's letting us know that it's not just happening in the Karachi area.
Yes, yes. I have actually used some of these boats on the Volta Lake area. The Volta Lake area, they are downside, that part of it. And it was it's a late night trip actually. We're moving around, it was around 9 p.m. We're moving from a location to an island actually. And then, the life jackets aboard were just about 3 or 4 and we're about 13, there were about 13 of us. And then, every time I think of it, especially with this incident, I just play back that if anything had happened, we would virtually have been in trouble because you're in the middle of the lake. You can't, it's nearly impossible, very difficult to swim to the edges. Yeah. The edges are far off.
But that's even if, that's if you actually also know how to swim.
Yes,
but not a lot of people know how to swim. So,
no, that's true.
And you need to have some level of skill to be able to cross if you have to. Well, we do have another caller on the line with us. Before we actually speak to, so let's speak to the caller who is joining us live now. Yes, good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on this morning segment on New Day. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Saboba.
Saboba.
My name is Adam.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Tell us what's on your mind.
Yeah. My mind is that it is true that we need government to support. If you look at the boat that has capsized at the Karachi, then the same thing as Saboba too. If you look at the Yamana assemblyman for that electoral area, Kucha, the people are surrounded by water. Wherever that they will go, they have to cross and go there. So we don't have the boat, we don't have canoe. The people are just crossing like that with that life jacket. And it is very, very risky. So we need government intervention on this. So we are just pleading that especially the pregnant women, and then the way they cross to go and grant, they don't have electricity there, they don't have electricity, so they have to cross water and come to Saboba town to do whatever that they want to do. So it's a serious thing that may have to look into this.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Adam, for calling us from Saboba, he said. Yes, thank you so much, and your views. Yeah, we have some statistics really on what's happened across the country already. Yes,
that's coming up on the screen now. So we see here on March 12, 2023, 8 persons died after a boat capsized on the Oti River. Also on March 18, just 6 days after, 5 persons died also on the Volta River as well. Then on March 28, 2023, 1 dead as dozens went missing on the Black Volta. And on March 31, 2023, 1 dead, 68 rescued on Bui River after a boat capsized. In May of 2023, 9 school children from Fana died at an estuary as well. And on September 17, 2023, 2 deaths were recorded as 17 fishermen were also engaged in an accident at the Adan estuary. So that is the story in terms of what has been happening over the period. And we've heard from the Maritime Authority indicates that this is a disturbing trend. They make the point that largely there is an aspect of the state of those watercrafts. That is one question. There is a human error. They also talked about the fact that sometimes the weather conditions, but the Director General of the Maritime Authority says substantively, when the accidents happen, what can ensure that people survive is the life jacket, which they've seen over and over again that the people simply do not have them or they do not use them. And sometimes people think that it's very simple to control, that it's not like a station. The boats are not particularly like stations where you just go to a particular station and pick a car. I mean, there are lots of access points. I mean, the trip I was talking about, we drove into someone's house, we parked there, we exited at the back, we walked some few meters, the boats came over there and picked us. It was not a port, so to speak, or any designated place properly so called. It was basically any point where the tide is good and the nature of the land is such that the canoes or boats can get closer. They pick up people there. So it's practically, there's a practical challenge with enforcement of things like ensuring that people have the life jackets.
You know, I was adding up the numbers as you were reading the statistics, and we have a minimum of like 26 just within this short period alone. That's too many people dead. I mean,
that's without the 15, right?
Yes,
without the 15. So I mean,
so that's like too many people dying needlessly.
The most moving aspect of all this is that for the 15 who passed on Sunday, 11 were children.
Yes.
You know, 11 were children.
Yes. I think one was as young as, is it 4 years or 4 months? Yes.
Yeah.
I saw the breakdown of the ages, so it's really not good. Yeah. So yes, tell us what you think. And okay, I think Roland, you already have some messages.
So I have a couple of messages, so I'll quickly just try to run through. I have this one from Engineer Samwachum, says it's quite a difficulty to live in these parts of the world where you have actions that could be taken to prevent deaths. There are countries that live along water bodies. Actually, even some of the most dangerous oceans. Take the Asian countries and those in the Caribbean. They live along water, but the fatalities are always low. Why? Why us? Why us? And Engineer Samwachum says you're looking very beautiful, and congratulations to you also, Joseph Akablay. Our own colleague right here at Media General, that is Felix Apple. You know Felix Apple?
Yes.
Okay. She says that he owes you lunch, and that your dress, makeup, and the color, and the way you're looking beautiful.
Felix.
Felix, eh? Felix Apple. Felix.
I'm addressing him personally.
So you say you're looking exquisite.
Thank you very much, Felix. Bring the lunch from Kempinski right now.
Hey, Beatrice, you are expensive.
Oh, Roland. Okay.
You are beginning to sound like Kukiti and Belamundi and the rest.
Let's go on the phone lines now. We have another caller joining us. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on this morning segment on Newday. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, I'm called Idris from Tamale.
Hi, Mr. Idris.
Good morning to you all and your viewers.
Good morning.
First of all, my congratulations to Joseph Akablay. Right?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes,
thank you very much.
I congratulate you on your call to the bar.
Thank you.
And also, I wish our condolences to the bereaved family, and we wish this couldn't happen, because nowadays things are going out of hand. I think we need more education on how we border our canoes and boats also. Anytime we need to educate people or passengers of such to always use the life jacket. I'm sure maybe if everyone had, and also the overloading issue. People the canoe drivers or whatever you call them. I'm sure they are not obeying the rules and regulations with the overloading issues. All the time it happens due to overloading. When we keep on talking as a country, we've done nothing about it. So let's just try our best to educate people with the life jacket wearing. Because others refuse to wear them, which we heard of, that people rejected using their life jackets as well. So we have to wake up as a nation. And I want to ask Joseph about Joseph. His colleague name called Joseph Sako. I don't know where he is now, so maybe he will educate us. He will tell me more about him. I used to like him too as well, and I wish.
You mean Thomas Sako?
No, I think he meant Joseph Opoku Gakpo.
It's in the US.
He's either done or almost done with his PhD. Yeah, in the US.
Yeah, I think
that's where he's based.
Wow, congratulations! Wow. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you too. We need to wake up as a nation. I think that was the last statement he made on the accident, and that's quite instructive. Thank you so much for calling and sharing your views with us. Yes, so the phone lines are still open. Call us, let us know what you think and what we could do to deal with this recurring problem, really, on our water bodies. So, Roland, we are about to read some messages for us.
Now, let me say good morning to you, Lawson Jamdo, great guy. Wishing you all the best for the day. And then also, Carl Kojo Dominion of the National Investment Bank. Wishing all the best for the day as well. But we have this one from Sherry Giovanni. He says, this is so pathetic and sad to hear as many of our compatriots die on the Oti River or the Volta Lake. The rate at which we're losing our people through boat accident is something the authorities must take a look at seriously. May the Lord grant them eternal rest. As Sherry Giovanni also extends good morning wishes to Miss Miriam Oga of the University of Education, Winneba.
Yes, let's pick this caller. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good morning. I'm calling from Dambai Junction. My name is Fura Nelson.
Fura Nelson.
Dambai Junction.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. I hope you're well.
I'm doing good, sir.
Yes, please. Go ahead with your point. What do you think?
Yeah. We thank you this morning for what you are doing for the marathon. Karachi West in this morning, we are mourning. A lot of children have lost their lives. More people have lost their lives on this day. We hope this shouldn't have been.
Indeed. And our condolences to all of you in the OT region. Yes, we're going to Sri FM 92.7. Johnny Hughes is biting.
My cherished clients and stakeholders, as I like to call you, for making time every morning to be part of Active Society and be part of what we do here and be part of informing, educating, entertaining, and elevating the conversations that affect the nation. Let me say a big thank you to Sonar Fashions in Tamale for my outfit this morning. And I love Sonar because he makes me look kingly and chiefly as it's supposed to be. And on behalf of His Royal Majesty Anna, my own Paramount Chief at the Bogu Traditional Area, Bonasa Lefutia II, and all the good people of the North and beyond. Happy day to all of you. Now, this morning, let me also reiterate what I've been telling you about the Rosebank International University. And the Rosebank International University is a South African university It's in the land of gold. It's filled with a lot of heritage. The Rosebank International University is the university that prepares you for the future and actually puts you in there, makes you a rising star. It's at the Opebia. It's right in the Opebia building on the airport stretch. You need to find it. They have the state-of-the-art kitchen. They have a state-of-the-art lecture halls and lecture theaters. The state-of-the-art library. They have the state-of-the-art, consulting rooms where students, if you have issues, you can go and speak with a counselor. They have exchange programs available for you. If you study here in Ghana, you could possibly get an opportunity to go out there to South Africa to go and better yourself as well, or to have an experience of it. You study in Accra, you thrive globally. The Rosebank International University is open for admissions now for January, but you can always go through and have a fair idea of what I've been talking about, the adult Montessori in Ghana. And on the 25th of October, hopefully, there's going to be an open day. It's going to be an online open day where you get to meet some of the lecturers, you get to understand the programs that are being offered at the Rosebank International University. They don't just teach you to learn; they learn to make sure you're growing. These are global programs, and I'm talking about programs that have been accredited by GTEC. I'm talking about programs that have been accredited by City and Guilds. The South African authorities have done that as well, and many other international universities. They are part of a larger group of universities, over 140 of them across the globe, with over 100,000 students, across. And you need to be part of this international university that is inspiring a lot of excellence. Please call them. If you're calling from outside Ghana, I encourage you to prefix the number with +233. +233. That's 307-007-800. That's +233-307-007-800, or www.riuc.edu.gh. That's www.riuc.edu.gh. They are part of the AdTech group. It's a larger group, many universities put together. And if you are in Ghana, you want to call 0307-007-800. That's 0307-007-800, and you will thank me. That's the adult Montessori, and we are happy that we are proud to be sharing that with you this morning. Thank you very much indeed. Make time to pass by the Opebia campus, the Opebia building on the airport stretch, and you come with testimonies yourself. Now, let's begin with a pastor I saw saying something that made sense, raising the next generation. And I heard a lawyer say somewhere that his children are too comfortable and he is not too comfortable about it. He's not a wicked father, no. And I tell people that most of the things I know because I was made to go through the mill, even at home. In my home, there were no chores that were reserved for male or female. So if you call any of my sisters, they can paint. They can do carpentry work. They can do masonry work, basic ones. If you call any of them, they can fix their own light bulb. If you call any of them, they are sharp in terms of their security and their surroundings. If you call any of my brothers, they can get to the kitchen and cook. In my home, there was no chore that was reserved for male or female. I can cook. And you can ask Yabiama about it. You can ask my friends, those who are near and dear to me. So this current generation that are being raised where children get to school. I remember when I was a child, when you get to school, you have section red, section green, blue, and yellow, and we all had sections. I was a sectional leader for a long time before I became compound prefect in primary school, St. Nicholas Preparatory School. And you would sweep, you would supervise your section, and your section would sweep. And then you will sweep your own classrooms, and then you will dust off the dirt off it, and then you will sit down and learn. When you close, you will sweep again and put your chairs nicely on your tables, and then go home and come back the next morning. It was nice to do it. At least it was morning fatigue for us. For those whose parents didn't have, my father would let you do some small fatigue at home before you go to school. But these days, the children just are driven to school, 8:30, they are in school, straight they are walking to the classroom. Sometimes they even skip assembly. Nobody is caning them or for coming late. So that mental attitude is, that discipline is gone. That's why I'm happy that the National Service is introducing some form of military training, basic military training, at least to shaping and discipline people. These days, you find school children walking to school sluggishly. Their shirts are out, they have not tucked in. Their shirts are out, their shorts are sagged, and when you talk to them, they just look at you, laugh, and then move on. The other time I saw a policeman, he gathered about 20 of them and insisted that they had to tuck in, and they had to do it before he let them all go. Must it come to that before? So the kind of society we are raising, and a lawyer friend said that his children are too comfortable and doesn't feel comfortable about it. It makes him sad. Because his argument is that today, if he is no more, how would those children survive? There are children who have never eaten kanzo before in their lives. Even for fun, they have not eaten kanzo before. There are children who have never ever seen kanzo before. Chicken bone, they have not broken chicken bone with their teeth before. They don't know how to buy sugarcane and start chewing it the way it is. They don't know, clean it and start chewing. They don't know how it is. So the real thing, I'm not saying that put your children through hardship. I'm saying that there are certain lessons in life that must not be lost on you and your children because you have money per chair. No. Listen to the pastor. Listen to the man of God. Listen to him.
But that interpretation of Uma ni here no, ya twisting to the extent say, Yema no say sing say, Ubeshi Yansa Sebio. See, Yema ni here, 1 year hey. Then say Yemaiko, SU camp, Yakosa, or the Janabako catcher say, and Colano Bakuba camp no, near the priation in Semino, or say, Auntie, I've not hold broom before. And I was like, who does it for you? And Nanny in the house, he has been doing everything. In Titia, what the man on the world, who bray, in Timao Bamre, Ebino. Yeah, Yanni says, so your Baba, limited to me, Baba Manu, or Bako Wareno. The things that made us who we are, we can't, but we are departing from them. Oh, Baba, no, so brumu, and so me Baba may, or to teach us, we are not teaching them the way. We are not. Then will be a some kind of say, oh no, Odihia, it's in the body of Omani Nihiada. But that interpretation of Oma Umeni here, no, ya twisting to the extent say, Yema no say sing say, Ubeshi Yansa Sebio. See, because Yema ni here, 1 year hey. Then say Yemaiko, SU camp, Yakosa, or the Janabako catcher say, and Colano Bakuba camp no, near the priation in Semino, or say, Auntie, I've not hold broom before. And I was like, who does it for you? And Nanny in the house, he has been doing everything. In Titia, what the man on the world, who bray, in Timao Bamre, Ebino. Yeah, Yanni says, so your Baba, limited to me, Baba Manu, or Bako Wareno. The things that made us who we are, we can't, but we are departing from them. Oh.
We're departing from them. We don't pound fufu anymore. We would rather go and blend the fufu. If we don't go and blend it outside, we'll blend it at home. But we forget that pounding fufu itself is a form of exercise for us. We don't chew sponge anymore because we have toothpaste and toothbrush. But we forget that we are exercising our jaws and the muscles in our faces when we chew sponge. We don't apply inku again, so you would have to pick some and then smear it this way. We forget that we'll be exercising our muscles and all of that. Energy. We have forgotten all those things. Everything is now soft life. And that is why people are 26, 28, 30, and they have BP. They have all manner of underlying conditions because they are eating all the junk food. They think that our local foods don't make sense anymore. Our bomu doesn't make sense anymore. come keshito with sliced onion, fresh onion doesn't make sense anymore. They think that most of our foods don't make sense anymore. I'm saying that just these three things. We don't pound fufu anymore. Even pounding fufu with your wife or with your mother or whoever it is, there's a certain connection, because while you pound, you have conversations. While you pound, there's some energy that you are exerting. While you pound, you're exercising the entirety of your body. We don't do that anymore. We don't use chapia, because if you're using chapia, you'd be moving your hands up and down. So you'll be exercising. We don't do that. We don't do that anymore. There are many things we don't do these days. And we think it's fashionable. It's okay. We see the raw fruits on the streets. We don't eat them. We would rather go and buy preserved fruits, or fruits that have been blended and preservatives have been added onto it. It's been canned. It's so flashy and nice. It's there with expiry dates that can be cleaned on the blind side of the FDA and reprinted. And we are happy about it. We are killing ourselves with our own money. Wake up. Now let's move on. Go take me to the Ghana National Fire Service. I saw this letter and I want to read it because I am confused. And maybe I want to ask the Interior Minister whether or not this is supposed to pertain. Where people go for training, and they are expanded for me. People go for training and they are asked to pay. Show us the logo so nobody comes to say that I'm manufacturing this. This is the logo of the Ghana National Fire Service, received on the 13th of October 2025. That's yesterday. And it's the Regional High Command in Dambai. They received this one. The 9th October 2025. The command in Dambai didn't give it to me, by the way. Distribution. All regional fire officers, all commandants, the commanding officer. Now, notice for payment of feeding fees. Listen carefully. Due to funding challenges, recruit cadets and existing personnel who went for training were made to pay something to subsidize their feeding costs for the period of their training. The attached list of personnel are officer cadets and other ranks who still owe feeding fees. And the list is there. I don't want to show the list. 2, the list has been grouped into 2 categories. 1, or I, Appendix A, contains the list of personnel who still owe but will be deducted from their accounts directly by their various banks. II, Appendix B, contains the list of personnel who are to make cash payments for the amount owed. 3, payments can be made at the salaries office, headquarters, or paid directly into the service account below, and the pay-in slip forwarded to the salaries office for clearance. That means that if you don't pay, your salary may delay. Now, the account is GNFS Donor Fund. It's a donor fund, but this one, we are insisting on it. Account number is 10 18 63 15 33 176. Branch is Bank of Ghana, Accra. We write for you to bring to their notice that they have up to 31st December 2025 to complete payment. Submitted for your strict compliance. Mark Brako Apia Jr. is Deputy Chief Fire Officer, Director of Finance, Chief Fire Officer, and then there's also Chief Fire Officer, Ghana National Fire Service, Headquarters, Accra, and they signed and they have given the notice. Now, I want to ask a question. I have come to serve my country. After buying my own forms and going to do my own medicals with my own money and coming now for training to come and serve the nation, I have to now pay money to subsidize my feeding. I don't understand. Maybe the Interior Minister has some answer to give us, or the Chief Fire Officer has some answers to give us. Because I don't understand. Was there no financial clearance before training began? I'm asking the question. Was there no financial clearance before any form of training began? And if there was financial clearance before any form of training began, why are the people being made to pay or subsidize their monies for feeding for their own training that will benefit all of us. When did this become fashionable? I'm asking simple questions. Is the country so broke that we cannot now spend money to train officers and feed them and accommodate them so they can have their peace of mind to take the regimental training that will be given to them so that they can be well-baked and not half-baked to come and serve us? Are we now saying that we cannot do that? Some questions are hanging and the answers must drop. Pretty much like questions are hanging about GTTC. And the last time I spoke about GTTC, somebody called me. The head, I get that made somebody call me that he wants to explain his side of the story. The next thing I see is that a letter has been written to the regional director explaining and saying that everything we said here is a lie. That is, I like to play that way. And I like to use the Kolebu template. When I spoke about the kidney dialysis thing, about the illegal charges that were happening at Kolebu, I got a call from the same CEO through my producer that, oh, hold on, I want to come and explain. I said, oh, come. It took 2 months. He didn't pass yet. The next thing I saw was that he was jumping from one media house to the other, trying to explain. And we who originated the story, never came to us. So what I did was the remainder of the documents that I had, I put them up here. So for GTTC, I'm not going to talk about it now. In the coming week, I'll talk about it. I will start from the eastern region. I will start from the eastern region. And when I finish, and all those people who were put into the meeting to have meetings and their phones were kept away from us and they were being coached on what to say, when Iyoko and BNI comes, you will answer. When they keep you in cells for 2 days, you will decide whether what you have been coached to say is what you want to say, or you want to say what the actuality is. Oh, wait. When you want to play that way, we will play. Now, show me the court document. It's a love letter from the Office of the Attorney General. Now, first, show me the picture of the Attorney General and his deputy, Dr. Dominic Ayene and Dr. Edem Sremsai. These are the two gentlemen. You have been complaining on the streets about no plea bargain, we don't want plea bargain, we don't want this, we don't want this. Well, the two gentlemen have finally put out some things. In fact, they're already doing some of the things already. No, I want the pictures of the Attorney Generals. Yes. And they're already doing the two gentlemen in the hearty handshake at the Jubilee House. And this was when Edem Sremsai, Deputy Attorney General, received his letters of credence. Now, there are two photos, yes. Former Executive Director of the National Service Authority, NSA, Osei Sibe Entry, the former mayor of Kumasi, is also a former member of parliament, I think, slapped with 14 counts of stealing and causing financial loss to the state to the tune of over 500 million Ghana cedis. These are allegations. They have not been proven yet, and within our jurisprudence, you are innocent until proven guilty. Show me the next one. Former Deputy National Service Authority, NSA boss, Gifty Oware-Mensah, charged with stealing, willfully causing financial loss, and using public office for profit to the tune of 38.4 million Ghana cedis. Now find me the court document for Gifty. Scroll up, please. The Superior Court of the Judicature in the High Court of Justice, Accra, AD 2025, KCR stroke 0019 stroke 2026, Republic versus Osei. No, I said Gifty. Kunzo, wake up. Don't sleep on the job. This is a very hot morning. Please, let's make it count. So spread it for me. Thank you. Count 1, statement of offense, stealing, contrary to section 124(1) of the Criminal Offences Act. Particulars of offense, it says, Gifty Oware-Mensah, former Deputy Executive Director between February 2022 and March 2024 in Accra, in the Greater Accra region, dishonestly appropriated the sum of 31,502,091 Ghana cedis, 40 pesos, the property of the National Service Authority, by causing the money to be transferred to blocks of Life Consult for your benefit. Count 2, willfully causing financial loss to the state. Particulars of offense, Gifty Oware-Mensah, former Deputy Executive Director between February 2022 and March 2024 in Accra, in the Greater Accra region, willfully caused financial loss of 31 point. Now let's go to the facts. It's down there. Scroll up. Let's go to the facts. And the AG is talking about, great, now spread it. Now it says the accused person, Gift Mensah, is a former Deputy Director General of the National Service Authority. Please, I want to read one. Executive Director of the National Service Authority. The National Service Authority is an establishment under the Ministry of Education mandated to mobilize and deploy personnel drawn primarily from the tertiary institutions in Ghana to various sectors in the regions qualified to undertake national service in areas of national priority for national development under the Ghana National Service Authority Act 2024, Act 1119. 2. The NSA established the marketplace platform to alleviate the financial burden of national service personnel, and I'm sure NSP people are aware of this, who are posted to a variety of sectors under the authority. This online platform allows NSP to apply for loans and purchase products on hire purchase. Consequently, the NSA registered a limited number of entities as merchants or vendors on the platform to offer these services to the NSP. 3. The vendors who rendered the services are paid by monthly deductions from the National Service Personnel Allowance at source until the items purchased or loan amounts received by the NSP are completely paid for. 4. As the Deputy Executive Director, the accused person was responsible for the oversight of the Finance, Audit, and Procurement Department. She was solely responsible for the approval of merchants onto the NSA marketplace, in addition to overseeing the general administration of the NSA. 5. Sometime in February 2025, the National Intelligence Bureau, upon receiving intelligence, initiated investigations into alleged acts of ghost names, stealing, corruption, and money laundering by certain NSA staff. The investigation revealed that between February 2022 and March 2024, the accused approached officials of the Agricultural Development Bank, my own bank, ADB, and informed them that the NSA has signed an agreement with a company, Blocks of Life Consult. So Blocks of Life, according to the AG, belongs to Gifty or Mensah, to sell products on hire purchase to national service personnel. And she claimed that she required a loan of 78,139,910 Ghana cedis to support her business. Blocks of Life Consult Limited is a private limited company registered in the year 2016 and owned by one Paul Boating. The accused, in order to facilitate her criminal activities, took control of the company through one Mohammed and made George Annan, her mother's driver, one of the company's directors. 7. The accused, in a letter dated October 14, 2022, addressed the head of the Consumer Finance Department at ADB, my own bank, submitted a list of approximately 9,934 ghost names that she generated from the NSA Central Management System. You remember the one that Dr. Baumia launched? Yes, that was going to stop some of these things. Yes, she represented to the bank that she had supplied goods on hire purchase to 9,934 ghost names and wanted to use the allowances as collateral for the facility. 8. ADB told the accused that they could not approve the loan of 78,139,910 Ghana cedis, as it would mean they would be deducting the full allowances of the supposed NSP. The accused later agreed with the bank on the principal sum of 31,502,091 Ghana cedis 40 pesos and an interest of 6,956,157 Ghana cedis 47 pesos to be paid through source deductions of the 9,934 NSP allowance over 11 months. On February 20, 2023 and March 5, 2024, 2 distinct agreements were executed between ADB, my bank, and NSA, the National Service Authority, on this facility engineered by the accused. In accordance with the agreements, an escrow account was established with ADB, my bank, to retain the loan on behalf of the NSA. The account was designated as NSA Hire Purchase and had the account number 122 IMPL 2306 10001. The loan amount of 31 million, etc., was disbursed into the NSA hire purchase account, and on the accused instruction to the bank, the loan amount was subsequently transferred into Blocks of Life Consult, her company's account numbered 108 101 016 121 6501. Out of the money received, the accused transferred 22,925,518 Ghana cedi 69 pesos to American Global Company, of which she was a director, and the remaining amount to 3 other companies. Investigations revealed that the accused person did not apply any products on hire purchase to any NSP, and the 9,934 names she gave to ADB and GIPS were ghost names she generated from the NSA CMS. The same CMS that Dr. Baumia launched. GIPS that tells us that nobody can bypass their system. Well, these are allegations, but we hope that the Attorney General is getting it right. Based on the above facts, the accused person has been charged and arraigned before this court for trial. Through her actions, the accused caused a total of 38,458,248 Ghana cedis, 87 pesos lost to the Republic. Now read this one. No, wait, let's read 11. Investigations revealed that the accused person did not supply any products on hire purchase to any NSP, National Service Personnel, and that 9,934 names she gave to ADB and GIPS were ghost names she generated from the NSA CMS. So GIPS didn't see, ADB didn't see. Well, I don't know, but this is before the court, so I don't want to run any commentary on it. But these are the facts of the issue. This ends the sermon for today. Tomorrow, we have another sermon from the book of the AG. We will share with you. But please call me 055 924 2717 and 055 691 0154.
Thank you for staying with us right here on TV3. It's time for the big issue where we discuss topical issues of national concern. And today we are talking about that tragic boat accident that has got the entire nation talking. We know that the Vice President of the Republic is today leading a team, including the Transport Minister, to the area to ascertain for themselves what exactly transpired. We also know that investigations are underway to try and understand what exactly happened, even though at a very initial level, the Ghana Maritime Authority has put out some information in terms of what they have learned about this particular incident. And for those who will not be familiar or may not be familiar with all what we've been talking about since Saturday, let me walk you through what we know so far. And so it's an incident that occurred on Saturday around 1:30 p.m., according to the Ghana Maritime Authority. A small passenger boat capsized on the Volta Lake near Ketekrachi. Casualties so far are 15, including 11 children who are aged 2 to 14, and 4 adults, that is 3 women and 1 man, and 4 other adults also survived. The cause, in terms of what we know so far, the preliminary investigations by the GMA indicated that gross overloading beyond the vessel's safe capacity. And in terms of the response by the Ghana Maritime Authority, a team has been deployed, investigative team comprising maritime safety inspectors and Navy task force, a high-level casualty investigation committee, GMA, and the Ministry of Transport that will be recommending enforcement measures, and also enhanced lakeside enforcement operation, focusing on passenger limits, life jackets, and operational permits. And so that is what we know about this incident so far. Yesterday, we heard from the Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali. We can hear from him very soon as he speaks about what they've detected beyond this initial statement that they put out yesterday in terms of what they've gathered so far and the steps they are taking to ensure that this does not happen again. Let's listen to Dr. Kamaldeen Ali.
The difference is that when a car is overloaded, the car will either break down or the car will stop to move. Unfortunately, in the case of a boat, the boat will sink. So the culture of overloading and the culture of lack of safety is something that is with us. But that is why we continue to do the education. We have detachments either from the Ghana Maritime Authority or from the Ghana Navy across most of the areas. Recently, since coming into office, a number of measures have also taken place. First of all, we are opening an office in Akosombo so that we can be very central and have the headquarters of the Inland Water Unit in Akosombo. You would have also seen in the news that we have deployed one of our boats called Mate Kole to Bando Toko, where we have opened an office also. Why Bando Toko? Because in that particular place, you have a weather situation where certain times you have a water currents meeting, and the water currents can cause accidents. It's an accident-prone area. That's why we have put a search and rescue boat there. That was done about 2 months ago. And also, we have actually donated quite a lot of life jackets to a number of communities also. We have conducted what is called a comprehensive mapping of most of the inland water crossing areas. Let me say that in Ghana, we have close to over 500 areas where people are crossing, in fact, up to 1,000 when it comes to the inland water areas. So what we are currently doing is that we are going to recruit a number of safety guards, and those safety guards will help enforce the law. So we almost have to create something like a water police in a way, because at the end of the day, we need to police. And if we need to police, it has to come at a cost. And unfortunately, if the people are not complying, the only thing we can do is to incur more costs by training safety guards and deploying them. Into the future, we are also looking at certification of boat operators. It is a difficult thing to do culturally, but we are looking at it. Much like everybody you must have a license to drive a car, we are looking at how we are going to put in place a certain certificate or a certain license for each boat. boat operator to be able to be trained, certified, and then can have that license. So these are some of the measures that the Ministry of Transport and the Ghana Maritime Authority are putting in place over the last couple of months. And we hope that more will be done in the coming months, especially the safety guards. Currently, after mapping the coastal communities, the inland water crossing areas, we are going to recruit the safety guards, people who are from the community, but people that can also earn their respect, people that can work with the local community leaders so that they can help enforce the law. Enforcement of law is not an easy thing to do. Generally, people want to resist enforcement of law. So we hope that when we come to that point where we have the safety guards in place, people will listen to them, people will accept the safety directions that will be given to them.
That's Dr. Ali Kamaldeen, Director General of the Ghana Maritime Authority, speaking on this disturbing incident that has got all of us worried. And some of the things you heard him talk about are disturbing. I mean, there are parts of the interview where he says, currently, we don't certify those who operate these boats and canoes. And if you grew up in a water area, an area where water transport is prevalent, you see that there are young boys and men who mainly man these boats or these canoes, very young. They are the ones who man them, sometimes 11 years, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, because they are born along those waterways. It's just work that they grow up learning to do and they man them. And you have more than 15, 20 people aboard it, no one wearing any life jacket or anything, and they go along with them. And a lot of the time, most of the people who are aboard cannot even swim. Even if you can swim, even when it's in the middle of the lake, far away from the edges, it's a very tall order to try and get across. And he makes the point about the fact that the boarding points across the country, more than 1,000. He says 500 initially, said about 1,000. So that is the enormity of the sector, inland transportation that we are looking at, and not having identifiable points make it very difficult. And in the course of the discussion, I'll be sharing with you some data that we have identified in terms of occurrences and the causes, and you see a common trend of what is causing some of these accidents to be happening. Let me introduce you to my guest in the studio, Nana Yao Sapon, my very good friend, Nana Yao Sapon. I call him the one-man support man. I don't know why I'm calling him that, but that's what I'll call him. Nana Yao, it's very good to see you once again.
You're just being mischievous.
I've not seen you in a while, but we interact a lot, and you're always on hand to lend a hand of support. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's good to have you join us this morning.
Good to see you.
Nana Yao is with the Movement for Change. Also joining us in the studio is my senior colleague. Let me introduce him that way today. Dr. Josiah Koba, former principal lecturer at the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. Doc, thank you for joining us.
Yes. Joseph, glad to be here. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Now I can call you my learned friend.
And I can call you my senior colleague.
Yes. Yes.
He didn't invite me.
Congratulations.
You are part of the organizing party. You are part of the organizing team, and you want invitation on top.
After we organize, he didn't invite me.
You see, yeah.
Okay, joining us also on Zoom this morning, Samson Wolanyo Deklu. Samson Wolanyo Deklu is the technical lead for Built Environment and at the Bureau of Public Safety. Mr. Deklu, thank you for joining us. Good morning.
Thank you too. Good morning to yourself and your studio guest as well.
Okay, I want to start with you, Mr. Deklu, and listening to the Ghana Maritime Authority boss speak about the state of inland transport. I mean, is it fair to simply say that as it stands now, it's basically unsafe to move on via our inland transport as we have it due to the current state of affairs, simply?
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning to yourself and the studio host and the viewers as well, and those who are also listening via other mediums. I mean, at this moment, we would just want to commiserate with the family who have lost their loved ones. And I mean, listening to the Director General, it is obvious that probably we seem a bit more helpless as a country when it comes to inland water transport.
I mean, he has also explained a lot of things that are being done to safeguard the lives of individuals who use these systems. But I mean, it's fair to say that, I mean, there are a lot of things that we are probably not being able to implement or put in place to ensure that lives on these waters are very safe for people who use it. I mean, he made mention of a very key item on his enumeration, that overloading and lack of safety, where people who use these inland water transport systems are not able to adhere to, and the fact that there's even a lack of certification for these young people, so to speak, minors, who man these boats. I mean, probably I've used this boat on a number of times on these waters, and like you said, I mean, in most cases, it's young people, 11, 10, 12 years, who are even without life jackets, and sometimes very few people on the boat are really having the life jackets on just to safeguard anything. So as it stands now, a lot needs to be done for us to be very certain that traveling on these waters will be safe. But as it stands now, it is just not safe for anyone trying to use this inland water transport system.
And I mean, is it fair to say that it's the nature of the transport system that potentially accounts for this? Because unlike roads, in terms of road transport, and even aviation, where basically we are more or less using specified roads, with the exception of just some few road in the hinterland areas that are being used. It's a bit more easier. In this particular case, I used one such boat in the Adan area, and we had to basically drive into someone's house where we parked the car. We exited the house through the back gate, and there was just one canoe there. It's not that it was a particular designated loading bay. It was just the fact that the land type over there was comfortable to be used. So the canoe was there, just one, and we just boarded it and we went across. Is that what you think is accounting for this? And how does the enormity of that as a challenge make it, some would say, practically impossible for this to be addressed?
Okay, then once again, I mean, it looks like we've not really given a lot of attention when it comes to this probably settlement that live along the water lake and how they actually ply or use this water as a means of transport. Because like you rightly said, you had to go and park in somebody's compound and walk through some alley to be able to even access a boat, which probably, if you are lucky, you might get a life jacket on. I mean, if you are not, I mean, you are just left to your fate. And you travel on this water, not just for a minute or two, but sometimes longer. So it is probably the way we've not seen the urgency of individuals who use the water body. Unlike road and air, I mean, we've given a lot of attention to it. So a lot of law enforcement are on there. Even our roads, even though we always say that it is not safe, I mean, it's way better compared to what we are seeing when it comes to inland water transport. It seems a lot of attention is not going there, probably because a lot of us are not able to probably use these systems. But then again, I mean, like the Director General said rightly, a lot of work needs to be done to be able to ensure that we are safe. I mean, imagine it is something we do on a daily basis, like prominent individuals are traveling with these boats. We can understand what measures we would have been taking to ensure that it is safe for everyone to be on it. But as it stands now, a lot of work needs to be done, and we are not giving attention to it. Probably maybe because it is a less known means of transport for us as Ghanaians. Because in other jurisdictions where it is a major means of transport, I mean, you will get a lot of enforcement as it will be done whether on road or in the air and stuff. I mean, when we go to our ports where it's a major means of probably bringing goods and other things. We see how the laws are being enforced at those areas. Why can't we do the same for these transports in our inland water bodies?
I see. Samson, I'll have you hold the line and let me come to my guest in the studio. And let me indicate that joining us in the studio as well is Sofo Tanko Rashid. He's the CEO of GIFEC. Thank you for joining us as always. And let me start with Doc across me at this point in time. And Doc, I mean, this is an unfortunate incident that has happened, but I mean, and I'm sure if you're familiar with water transports, I mean, this has been long in coming, especially because of how we manage that sector generally.
Yeah. This is tragic. You know, it's. I read yesterday that the boat was being operated by an 11-year-old, you know, who has lost his life. It's a national tragedy, and it must be a wake-up call for all of us to do something positive in that direction. I believe that at this point, we should, as a country, decide that we are not going to have any more such incidents. And for me, this means that in the short term, I think that I don't know whether the Ghana Navy or we need to seize control, you know, of water transportation in the country. I am thinking in the short term, in the long term. In the long term, something akin to the STC, you know, an inland transportation system, and that would be a way for government or the Maritime Authority to seed that sector. And then we can then begin to license private sector individuals to get into inland water transportation. As it is now, it is free for all. I recall my experience on a boat in a boat in Elmina. You know, as a Boy Scout from Vanspim School, and we kind of collided with another boat. It was frightening. It was frightening.
Were you guys in life jackets?
No, I mean, you know, we were. You know, it was frightening. You know, and it's an experience that I don't want to visit again. And so I think that it's about time that we seize control. In the short term, I think that we should deploy the Ghana Navy or, you know, some kind of water policing is important to seize control of the system while we begin with things like licensing of boats. You know, we have to have specification. Those canoes, all you need is a torrential rain or something, and things will go haywire. So I believe that there's a wake-up call. In the short term, I think that we need to deploy a Ghana Navy. This is a situation that needs to be dealt with. We've had too many of these accidents, and we should say as a nation that no more. We are not going to do this anymore. Yeah.
Let me come to Nana now, and Nana, we've itemized some of the incidents that have happened, and we've done a summary. And if you look at the main contributing factors, is overloading, weather hazards, lack of safety gear, weak regulation and enforcement, infrastructure gaps in terms of limited ferry services, poor rescue systems, and children and vulnerable passengers often forming the majority of the victims. I mean, what's your own assessment, appreciation, and understanding of what has transpired so far, and how do we approach it just to ensure that we don't get back to this again?
Thank you very much. It's unfortunate that this had happened, and the most unfortunate aspect of it all is that majority of the people that perished are children between the ages of 2 to 14. I think it's so sad to have these innocent children lose their lives. But when the news had come out and I was trying to look through it, then I came across a write-up that had indicated that in the past 2 years, we've had about 11 of these accidents. I stand to be corrected. We've had about 11 of these accidents. And when you have just done the pick and picks of it, just as your team has indicated, we have about a few elements that are always popping up as the causes of these accidents. But the major ones is the safety issue. And when you are breaking the safety issue into about 3 or so, you would have the unavailability of life jackets, you would have the monitoring and supervision, and I termed it as the inspectories of our watercrafts, that is the canoes and the boats that we used. And one thing we should come to an understanding is that this inland water transport system has come to stay. You understand me? We all patronize it. I mean, last year I was on it twice. You know, when we had to cross from the OT region to the northern part of Ghana, and having to drive all the way, the best and the easiest was just to go onto the water. I've forgotten the name of the vessel. It has a name. And then we just go. It's easier using it. And being on it, one thing I realized was that none of us was in a life jacket. None of us was in a life jacket. So I asked myself a question. What happens if it decides to go down? What I also noticed was that the gentleman who was giving out the tickets basically was he had no idea, and I'm being emphatic, he had no idea the number of persons he had to load. They will only tell you that we can take 4 cars, 5 cars, and 10 human beings. But are they aware of the weights of the vehicles? Are they aware of the weights of the human beings? And I used yesterday on another platform, I used an example. I said, if you go into an elevator and it says that 13 persons, it gives you the weight.
The weight, yeah.
Now, when they say 13 persons, and with the Dr. Mesero, you have myself and lawyer as part of the 13 persons. The 13 will be reduced by a number because looking at our weight. But with the elevator like this, it will not move because of the sensors. But when it comes to the boats and the canoes, they will definitely move. It is when you have gotten to a point that you would realize that you have overloaded. Okay, so we ought to be able to put in regulatory measures. And the regulatory regime is something that we need to work on whilst we have people to enforce it. Maritime, I was reading about the Maritime Authority and their Act 630. I realized that it's more administrative, and their concentration is not on the inland water transport. The concentration is more on the high seas and the shipping. All right, but the inland water transport system is part of their work, because if you read their mission it talks about the fact that they are supposed to ensure safety. All right? They are supposed to ensure safety. They did not say safety on seas. It says on the marine environment. And when you have read about the marine environment, it includes these communities that have that are surrounded by water, or what we call the inland communities. But I mean, from where they sit, their concentration is different, their focus is different. So once the inland water transport system has come to stay, once we have inland communities, it will be appropriate that probably there would be another institution that will solely be responsible for these inland communities. The other one is that, Blay, we need to be able to push for community engagement and education. These inland communities that are surrounded by water should have some level of education when it comes to living around water bodies. If you go to other jurisdictions, I know for a fact that even before you are given the opportunity to stay around a water body, you should have some basic knowledge about how water operates, and you should have some basic knowledge on water safety and how to swim. Do we have that here? No. We find people building around water bodies, and because that is their community, but they have basically no idea of even how to call for safety when the water goes haywire. In other jurisdictions, you would have something like the sheriff or the community police that is responsible for water safety just across in all of those communities. But in Ghana here, I do not think we do. There are these places that are surrounded by water that you will not even find anybody, no Navy personnel, nothing. It's one of the communities I read that has a naval detachment that is permanent there. But at the end of the day, there are more than one communities that are surrounded by water. We are supposed to have people there to guide them. You understand? You cannot control everybody at the same time, but once you have somebody who is responsible for taking care of these persons, I think we would be moving on. The other aspect of it is the poor enforcement of the already existing regulations. There are some regulations already, but how are they being enforced? I asked myself when I was driving here, I said that, do they even inspect these watercraft? Do we have engineers who go around to inspect them? Because you see, if you are operating a transport business, like the bus systems we have, the VIPs and the STCs, they go for maintenance periodically. Do we have something like that? Because if you go for maintenance and you have to go and renew your roadworthy, all right, and you don't even want to go for maintenance, you are forced to do so because you would have to renew your roadworthy. Are we having that system with the inland water transport? No, but yet they operate. Yet we have district assemblies that go to them to take tax. They pay. You understand? We have people who seemingly supervise these activities. They go there to look at what they are doing, seemingly. But yet, they do not even go for inspections as to whether it is worthy to be on the waters or not. These people who operate them, do we even train them? And when the gentleman was talking, he made an example. He says that when it is a car, it either might not move or something. See, the private person who is operating the canoe needs money. That gentleman who is also late to get onto the other side wants to go.
Get across here.
And so when it is even full, he would force himself. And because I'm a private man and I need money, I would accept his money and put him on board. But if there were strict measures or strict enforcement of the regulations that are already existing, we will not get to that point.
Okay.
You understand? So I think that it is a collective responsibility. Let us come together on a round table and have a national discourse on it. That transport system has come to stay. So we need to put in the proper regulations. We need to put in the proper measures. How much is a life jacket? Yesterday, before we got onto another platform to discuss this issue, I tried to check, and a life jacket was less than $48, depending on the type of life jacket you want. If the district assemblies are interested, they can get these life jackets in and out. In other jurisdictions, when you have used their water system, before you get on board, they give you a life jacket. When you get to your destination, you leave the life jacket there. The next person coming from that end would also use it to the other side. You ensure that there is always available life jackets.
Okay.
Corporate Ghana can help.
Okay.
You know, we started something on that platform yesterday. Corporate Ghana can help. It is not every time that we put our monies in advertisement and we put our monies in entertainment.
Okay.
These are lives that are being lost. We might not see the impact of it today because those folks are in the rural communities, but they all contribute to the economical growth of this country. These are fishing communities. These are farming communities. You understand me? They're little they contribute. Their lives are so important. And so we can also, as a people, contribute to the availability of life jackets in these communities.
Okay.
I mean, Tanku's organization, the corporate social responsibility. You understand me? Corporate social responsibility. One is less than $40.
Yeah,
if you can just check.
No, I've checked. It's between there's 150 cedis for basic ones, 250 cedis. There's some 400. Then there are the expensive ones from the.
No, those ones are the ones they use for the seas and other things.
So
but there are ones that are multi-purpose.
Yes,
that is
yes.
within
So
400 Ghana
yeah.
cedis.
So between 150.
The 150 are for the
yeah.
kids. The life-saving ones for children floating something. So let's get interested.
Okay.
Because as for those. The what I call the IWT, the inland water transport, it has come to stay whether we like it or not. We need to push it.
Let me come to Mr. Rashid Tanko on this issue here. And there's also a human attitude aspect of it. And I say so because when I went to the Adan area, and I'm sure you are familiar, you go around the country to tell these people who use this form of transport to vote for your party. There was an instance where there were life jackets on the boats, but the people he was distributing them, but they refused to wear them. That's an aspect of the conversation too.
Let me say good morning to you and my co-panelist, Doc, and then my good brother here. And then good morning to the good people of Bimbilla constituency. I'm from Bimbilla. It's a very nice place. I invite all of you to visit. It's a very nice, you will love it. Bimbilla is a nice place.
We are keeping our eye on.
Oh yeah.
On
you have to visit there. I invite you. You see, I'm from a rural area, and like my brother said, this inland water travel thing was part and parcel of us. Some of us sometimes you don't even use the boat; you just jump into the water and hold your this thing, your footwear, and then you across. You see. It was part and parcel of us. We didn't see it to be any problem at all. But along the line, you see, as civilizations come in and then these new boats with engines and all that started coming in, then we started getting all these kind of difficulties and all that. And I'm happy you are taking it from that direction of human nature. Government has provided a lot of this life jackets to some of these communities. I remember in our first time under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, from 2013 to 2016, a lot of life jackets were distributed in communities. At that time, I was operating up north, and I remember vividly the number of life jackets that were distributed through the initiative of NADMO and all that to support these processes. So, and to reduce a lot of this boat disaster, especially around Kumbungu area and then Yape and all those areas. They have a lot of inland water bodies that they cross over. And then this year, I know what the NADMO people too are doing. That is where we need to strengthen the supervisory role of NADMO on that aspect. They need to sit up on that aspect. I think they need to position, in collaboration with Interior Ministry, they need to position officials around those areas to make sure that these people, not that they are not there, this this injectors, they are there. They have them. But you see, like I said, we in the rural area, we don't see it, we don't fancy wearing those things. Because we see these things to be like just a border. But education, like my brother is saying, is very key. We need to continue to educate our people, talk to them, let them understand that there is a need for you to wear your life jacket and all that. It is only when we get to a point where we all know that the safety of the boat and then the structure, everything is key or is in tandem with what we are doing, then we can decide not to wear the life jacket. For instance, when we travel outside, we go and enter these cruise boats without wearing life jackets, and they will cruise around there. I entered one in Japan and China, Shanghai. They didn't even bother. Nobody, all the tourists who came around there, nobody wore this life jacket thing. We're all in there because we are satisfied with the safety measures put in place. And you're looking at the cruise ship and all that, you are certified that nothing of that sort will happen. But this one is an open-ended boat with sometimes with a faulty even engine, and then you have a young person, I'm told some 11-year-old chap who was paddling or driving the boat. Can you imagine? That is how people can risk their life. You put your life in the hands of an 11-year chap to carry you across. And I'm sure there were elderly people who also among those who died. And they were looking at that young man carrying them across this thing. And they didn't see anything wrong there. That's why I'm saying in the rural areas, normally we don't see this thing. And because we have trained, and it's a trade that we've taken over from our fathers and then grandfathers, you don't see it to be anything wrong if you get there. And Dr. Vidal mentioned Elmina does this. If you go there, you see the young, even as low as 5-10 years, they are in the place. They are learning the trade. Yes. It's part and parcel of them. Okay, so for them, they don't see anything. They will even say maybe it's a natural disaster. That's how they will look at it. Or maybe the gods are angry and they need to pacify the gods. They don't look at the other aspect of it, that maybe it's the fault of the boat, the engine has a problem, or the weather, they didn't read the weather well before cruising on that path. These are the things we need to educate. And I strongly believe under this administration, we want to protect everybody's life. We want everybody to be live and kicking, to make sure that they enjoy the benefit of what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is bringing out. Because for a very long time, since 1992, we've never seen this type of governance structure that we have now. People are enjoying this. So we don't want people to die while others are enjoying. So we'll make sure that NADMO will up their game. NADMO will continue to monitor the situation. And you see, implementation is key. And like you said, the district assemblies, I'm happy all of them are here. The DCs are here. They are undergoing some training, orientation. And they are aware of this. NADMO is also coming in to talk to them about how they can take care of some of these things. Because they take the tariffs from them. They take taxes from these people. Like he said, if you go to the riverside, you see a district assembly officer there with some, they say lampu, a small lampu, they tear it for them and the people pay. And so if you are doing this, you also should be mindful that you take lampu from live people. You don't take lampu from dead people. Okay? And so they should enforce that aspect of them wearing the life jacket. They have them. The assemblies, they have them. If you go, they have them. I remember very well. We distributed a lot of them, and they keep them there. When you go and ask them to bring in that, even in the communities. I remember there was one, they said around Ada, so some students also fell through like that. Yes. They went and distributed a lot of life jackets to the community. But as they don't even use it. Because for us, we don't see it to be anything. I'm coming from the rural Stokes, and I know, I remember in the 70s and 80s, that was one of our games, to go and swim across who is faster to swim across. Now you are using boats and other things. Why are you using a raw like that? You just go and cross. And you didn't see anything, but now the situation has changed. And then they need to educate our people and all that. And I strongly believe NADMO will sit up and make sure that this is, and thankfully, our brother who is taking care of NADMO, the Director General, is a former army officer. He knows much about these things. And he's from, yes, he's from that area. It's down to earth. He understood this thing very well. And I'm sure it's like a reawakening to him to make sure that we protect our citizens from this needless death. Okay. It's completely, in fact, it's a national tragedy. When I saw it, I felt bad. I felt bad that we have to lose these lives through this needless death. It doesn't make sense.
Let me go back over to Zoom. And Mr. Deklu, I want us to now focus on solutions. We've touched on some of them around the table, but let's be more direct, particularly in the short term. And that is always important because in the means of transportation, as we are talking this morning, there are children who are using the canoes, the boats, and they are going to schools. I mean, in the short term, what should be done? And also, what should we be thinking about in the long term? We know that key government officials, including the Vice President, we understand, are heading there this morning to assess the situation.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe a lot of discussion has gone on already on what is being done in the short and immediate term. I just want to re-echo some of them. I mean, in the short and immediate term, we probably have to enforce more of the public safety campaign in terms of what people need to ensure that is done. Like was said, we need to ensure that everybody who is going to use these boats have life jackets. I mean, even if it means going on a free life jacket distribution campaign for these communities, it is important. And there should be mandatory measures for them to use it as well. We need to also have a rapid enforcement. I mean, the Ghana Maritime Authority and the Marine Police and the Navy are already doing a good job and trying to ensure that once these things happen, they are out there ensuring the enforcement of the laws, and also probably ban the underage operators. Yes, I want to agree that it is part of us, and it's a trade that we pick up probably along the riverside. Young people pick it up from their fathers and stuff. But we need to also look at how we've come as a people when these inland travels have become part and a parcel of us. So in the immediate and the short term, some of these things needs to be looked at. Then in the long term, and some probably structural reforms that we can probably look at, if we can be able to start looking at investing in probably safe alternatives, whether it is the issue of regulated ferry services, so that people who are traveling on these ferries, maybe the government will have to start looking at investing in some low-cost ferries that will be able to ply these. Also, probably look at emergency response upgrade in terms of resourcing or probably retooling the Maritime Authority to ensure that their safety response along the lake and in terms of emergencies are probably upgraded. And also look at probably stronger legal and institutional accountability. So that, I mean, like we see on our roads, when there are serious issues, even air travel, when there are serious accidents, people are held responsible because people have been given the mandate to ensure that your travel in the air is safe. So we can be looking at some of these in the short and long term to ensure that lives are protected. I mean, even this morning, even after all this, there's still some people traveling on the lake without life jacket. There is still a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old who is handling a boat to transport people from one point of the river to the other. So these are just some of the few things that I'll put across that we can look at as a people to be able to safeguard on lives of those who also use some of these systems on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samson. Let me come to Doc now. Doc, how should we proceed at this point?
I believe that we should have a national water transport company of some sort, to seed the sector. Something like the state transport company that we have, I also think that if I had my way, we should ban canoes. Those small dugout, canoes should be banned. I think immediately we should do an assessment of the situation and perhaps send the Navy to areas where we think, I'm sure there are some areas where people's lives are in danger, on a daily basis. And I think that, in the short term, the Navy should help us out, while we look at boats, for example, that are fit for purpose. We need a licensing regime for boats. We need regulations. Operators need to be trained and licensed properly. And I think that generally people who live in those areas need education. So awareness creation is important. And so I think that, again, as I said before, this should be a wake-up call for us to do things differently. The same way we police our roads and we have MTTU and all that, we need to have pay attention to water transportation, on the Volta and and other inland water bodies, And I think that I didn't have a time to, I didn't take a look at the maritime, the act. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure that I think I was saying that it's not really fit for purpose. We probably need to look at, something that broadly covers inland water bodies, and make sure that we have a regulatory framework so that we can save lives.
That's good. In fact, when you look at the Act, in terms of when it's defining what a watercraft is, it excludes canoes out of it.
And but
so,
in its real definition of what watercraft is, includes canoes.
Yes, but it appears in the regulation they were trying to avoid.
They avoided the canoes and the boats.
I believe we should ban them.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
These small canoes with the pole.
And then the olden type is.
You don't seem to agree on that point.
It's unfortunate. We can't ban them. Why? Because you see, you are able to afford to go on. Yes, yeah, yacht, no. And I'm more friendly.
Make a yacht.
That is ours. What we can do is to ensure that they are properly maintained, and that if you are not up to a certain age, as you were talking about, the licensing regime need to be looked at, and then the Transport Ministry and the Maritime Authority and the Ministry of Tourism should be able to attract private investors in the inland water transport system, so that we would have better boats. You understand? If you go to other jurisdictions, they even have taxis on these water bodies. They have Ubers on these water bodies that you can just sit, order an Uber, and it comes and it's a small boat. You are on it and you go. So we should attract, because there is so much there. The people are increasing in number. You understand? The people are increasing in number. Growing up, I had never anticipated in my life that I would travel to the Uti region and would want to go and use what was the name? Duilma. Pantu. I never anticipated that I would go and use it. I still have pictures. And so yesterday when it happened, when I heard the news, I was looking at it, I said, hey, so if it had been me, God, if you were quiet,
I crossed the voter lake at midnight before. Yeah, I mean, about 11 of us. No life jacket.
When we got there, let me tell you this funny thing. When we got there during the campaign, then we all had to go on the Pantu. The security guys and everybody involved came around and we said, we will not allow Alan to go on it. We have to protect our asset. We need to protect the lead. And we're like, but at this time he has to go on it. We are like, we're not so sure. So he had to drive. And the distance. We actually got to our destination before he did. But we were not sure of the safety nature of the Pantu. So we couldn't have allowed the security people call something an asset to be on the Pantu. You get me? So we need to attract investment in that area. And once we are able to do, we would have some of these small boats that will be operating even as taxis. Because people cross it on daily basis. People cross it on daily basis. Every minute you will find people gathering to cross. So it's just like we are operating the bus business we have. Some time back, it was difficult to get a bus from probably the north to the south. It was difficult. If you miss your bus in Kumasi going to Takoradi, you might not get any again. But today, it is not like that. Every minute, there is a bus moving. Why? Because of the private sector investment. We should be able to attract these investments in this area. But after the banning of the canoes, the people would not agree. They will not agree because, you see, that is their means of transport. What we can do is to help them improve on their means of transport. They use it also for fishing. Let's not forget, it is not only for the transport business. They use it for fishing. So if you ban the use of it, then what happens to their fishing activities? I do not continue. And sorry, just quick one. The distribution of the life jacket. If you go and give the life jackets to individuals in the community, when the person is coming to use the boat, he or she may forget. There should be a system where they have a place they keep them. Once you are getting the ticket to go onto the boat, all right, the operator ensures that you go into that room to get your life jacket to wear. And this happens in other jurisdictions. You will go, you get your ticket. Once you order the Uber that is on the taxi that is on the water body, before you climb onto it, the person hands over a life jacket to you. You wear it before you get on. And so if we have a small container somewhere being mounted by somebody, the district assemblies deposit the life jackets there. Before you get onto the boat, you wear it. And once you see our because of our orientation, when we say we don't calculate children as part of the weight. Let's be real. We don't calculate children as part of the weight.
In fact, in all the incidents we've had, you see that
the number of children
are always more. Yeah, I mean, quite clearly.
And that's where I'm coming from.
I think
so. You find a mother who has twins or triplets or a small boy and a sister. They would calculate probably the 14, 15-year-old boy as weight. But those little ones, they don't calculate them as part of the weight. And that is something that we need to deal with. Because you can't go onto into a car or a plane and they will not calculate that child as part of the weight. They will definitely calculate it. But what we have here, now, you understand me? So we need to be able to arrange our people on some of these things.
When I talk about banning,
yes, sir.
This small boat with a long pole. Come on.
I mean, some of them, when they are even moving, they'll be fetching the water out of it.
Yes, we can do better than that. I mean, at the minimum, look, the same way along our coast, fishermen are now using what do you call those? They use the engines. Yes. We can do better. We can do better.
Outboard motors, yeah.
Yeah, we can do better. We can provide outboard motors. Something. This very crude method needs to stop, and I think we need to stop it. You know, and it calls for some action. You know, I think we should start with stopping the use of those small canoes.
Okay.
You know, it is dangerous. You know.
Well, you see, Doc, it will take time for such a drastic measure, because looking at where we are coming as a country, you know, if you take the rural communities where I operate a lot from, you realize that we need a lot to do. If we are comparing that to our urban areas, we might be dreaming, especially the underserved and the unserved communities. You see, their lives still depend on those smaller boats, these canoes and all that, what they used to cross those areas. So for me, I don't think for now is the right path to ban it. Banning is not the right thing. The only thing is the education, safety measures. We make sure that NADMO up their game, Maritime Authority, both they collaborate and up their game, try to educate them, even how to use the smaller ones, the weight load and all that. I am saying that these small canoes with that long pole, we put motorbike on it. I mean, Jerkwan, crossing over to Togo, Senkansi area. We're doing smuggle over there. Okay, I didn't say. I want to polish it nicely across those days. That was the 70s, the early 80s. Actually, across those days, we used to do those ones, and you didn't have those disasters happening. And so that's why I'm saying that it's just the regulation, how to manage it, manage those things, and then educate them how to use it. And I'll go on the route of this life jacket, like what you are saying. Let's provide them, the operators. You see, I think, well, Ghana, as of now, things are getting better. And I'm sure the NADMO Director General is listening. He's a very active man. You know, he's from that area. He's from OT region, a former military man who understood this game very well. He will do something about it. They will definitely do something about it, so that we make sure that we get more life jackets. I've just, one of the NADMO director told me that, yes, it's true, it's the life jackets they need. If they get it, I think they will curtail all this. They will make sure that they will force the people to wear the life jacket. Like my brother is saying, when you sit in there, you put it, even with that long one, if you put in the life jacket and there's anything, you can manage yourself out. And so that thing, we need to, the education need to continue. But Doc, I'll beg of you for now, if we think of banning it, the trouble we'll get in Ghana. The
responsibility on the part of the people as well, the people who are boarding them.
Yes, that is it. It's important. Like what I'm saying. For instance, if I get in there and I see that, for instance, this platoon that we're talking of, those days, we're entering, we didn't care whether you were wearing life jacket or not, because you were sure that the platoon was in order and all, even the one being used currently. The one that's crossing Dambaya and all that. I used it severally, the crossover. You hardly see anybody wearing life jacket in it. You feel fine because you have confidence that everything on it is fine. But you see, it is only when disaster strikes that you begin to see this thing. So it's reawakening. And I can assure you, I believe the leadership of NADMO, they will do something about it and make sure that more of the life jackets are procured and then distributed to these vantage areas where the people are always using these boats to cross over, because it has come to stay. And I believe time to come, even, look, if we develop our inner water bodies and all that, it's a tourist area. A lot of money. Yes. Yes, it's a tourist attraction where people want to go, come enjoy themselves in the evening. Imagine doctors sending their family and all that to come down Odo River there, and then there's a nice cruise ship there with lighting and all that. In the evening, they cruise down there and cruise back around. Like, we enjoy it. It's a beautiful thing. To Dubai to do it. And that's what I'm saying. I saw it. I saw one in this thing, Osaka. I saw one in Shanghai, and it was so beautiful. And we are paying for this. I said, why can't we do it in Ghana? You see, and I believe we can do this thing. And with true leadership, thank God we have a better leader now as a president in Ghana. And I know with the support of everybody, we are going to get there. And this one is just a reawakening to leadership of NADMO and Maritime Authority. Interestingly, the Maritime Authority DG is also coming from a rural area. He's from Upper West region. And then so both of them will collaborate to make sure that these rural folks will enjoy the fruit of crossing over these river bodies without any difficulties. And this is what we are pleading. And I know they are going to do it. I have confidence in them. Khalid, who is at Maritime Authority, is your colleague, is your senior. He's a lawyer. I have to congratulate you. You've done well. You are a fantastic young man.
Yes. You were not part of the organizing team.
I was out of the country. I came when I. Yes, so I'll take him up for some show. But you are not part. So.
but a quick one. Yeah. You are both lawyers. We have the Road Safety Authority. Mm-hmm. Are we able to have an inland water safety authority whose concentration and focus would just be on the safety of our inland water transport system, so that we do not have a divided attention? Their focus would be to ensure regulations on our water bodies. They would put out an enforcing men out there. We would have the community or inland water police, as part of them. Are we able to do that?
I think that Rashid probably can tell us. I think there is something in the manifesto on water transportation.
Yes.
Along the Volta.
Yes.
Yes. And if
there's a whole development, and I think the president launched it not too long ago.
It is in there, and I think that to do it properly, we need to develop the regulatory framework.
Yes, we need to develop a regulatory so that they are responsible for it. So probably it's time you trigger that aspect of the manifesto, so that we are able to move it.
When I was a kid, I started school in Tamale, and the going at EAG, with my father's car that was very exciting.
Yes.
And I don't remember wearing any life jacket.
It was fun.
But but that's a far cry from the canoes. The canoes, I'm so scared of. Since that incident, when I was a young boy, I don't, canoes,
I get your fear. I get your fear completely, because even to get on it, when you step on it, then it bubbles. Then the person who is manning it will tell you that, oh no, come, come. Then sometimes it's almost falling out. Even to get on board.
There's a video of, I don't know if it is
John Dumelo. Yes, they were doing a shoot. Yes. Yes, I saw it.
It's scary. I think we need to do better. To have school children. I think about school children who have to sit in this on a daily basis to commute to school.
These communities, as we have the PE, I don't know if the physical education is still part of our curriculum as well. While I looked at it, we used to go learn how to play football, go learn how to play table tennis, and in other jurisdictions, as part of it, if you are living in an inland community, they have the swimming as part of it.
They do the swimming in some of the very good schools here in Accra. They do swimming.
So the Ghana education. No, I'm not. He's talking about swimming pools.
That's the one we are talking
about. I'm dealing with the fact that we have these communities and they have schools in these inland communities. All right. So Ghana Education Service could at least, as part of their physical education, where we have these sports and stuff as part of the extracurricular, add swimming to it, so that the basic knowledge is given to these children. Because, I believe if they did have some swimming skills, at least they would have been able to float on the surface of the water. So some help come.
Right.
So we need to be able to push that also.
All right. Yeah. Let's do some messages as we bring the discussion to an end. Musa Batwa and Asawasi, you say, your deepest condolences to the families and loved ones of those who tragically lost their lives in the Ketekrachi incident. This is a heartbreaking loss for the entire nation. The authorities must take full responsibility and put immediate measures in place to ensure such a devastating tragedy never happens again. May the souls of the departed rest in perfect peace, and may comfort find all those affected as well. And so that is it for this part of our discussion. We'll just do a brief take on what we are learning from the Ghana Water Company. Yesterday, we heard from one of the officials there talking about struggling to keep treatment plants in operation because of the state of our water bodies. I mean, we know that the president had an extensive discussion with the relevant stakeholders, the CSOs within the space, talking about illegal mining and all those matters. And he explained what the government was doing about it. I mean, we've all had our say after it. There are those who are saying that the next level, beyond the enforcement that we are seeing NIMOS doing now, in the last couple of weeks, many arrests across the country, lots of items that are being used by these illegal miners have been seized and destroyed. Those who have been charged prosecutions are also underway in full swing. But there's a part of the survival aspects. And then I remember some few weeks there was a whole back and forth about dechemicalization and all those things. But the conversation would have to take place about how we can restore the quality of our water bodies. And let me start with you, Doc. I mean, we are facing water shortage in some parts of the country because our treatment plants are not in operation. I mean, so far we are focusing on enforcement, alternate livelihoods, but we have to also pay attention to how we can deal with the state of our water bodies just to make them better, to enable the water company treat them very well for us.
No, Joseph, thinking about this issue, all I can come up with is the application of technology. We really need to up our game. The water company needs to look at different methods, because we are there. The water is polluted and we need water. Water is life. So we have to find a way, short of importing water into this country, we have to find a way to make sure that we can treat the water that we are getting from these water bodies. I think we need to look at technology and see what we can do. I'm sure that these treatment plants are, some of them are artifacts. I'm sure they are, they've been around for a long time. It may be time to look at new technology that can be introduced. I'm not an expert in those areas, but I think while we are fighting the law enforcement side of this, we also need to look at how we're going to turn these chocolate-colored water bodies to water bodies that we can use to sustain us as humans. So I think technology is in my view, the answer. The water company needs to be resourced to be able to apply different. Yesterday I heard the one manager, chief manager of some sort, talking about that they've changed from the use of alarm to another system. Maybe they need to up the game again and do something else, because we cannot give up. We have to, this shortage should not continue, because we need water. So technology needs to be applied, in a way to make sure we have, water for our everyday sustenance. Joseph, one thing yesterday I read that they've arrested some Chinese people. So there are still Chinese people around with all this noise about Galamsey, the impunity. We still have Chinese people.
It's a big problem. Rashid, and there's a. I mean, I don't envy the finance minister at all. I mean, Everything we discuss every time, you need money.
Money, yes.
If the minister even during the president's encounter, more than $1 billion needed to just fight the illegal mining, not even about the treatment of the water. Governments must really be in a tight corner in all aspects of our national life.
Well, this issue of Galamsey, I can assure you, by next year, we'll be talking of different stories, not Galamsey matter again. We will deal with the matter. I can assure you, government is doing something. In fact, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is serious about it. And that is why he warned, no appointee, if you are found interfering in the activities of these NIMOs or involved in these things, you will not be spared. And that's why, thankfully, almost 10 months in governance, you cannot pinpoint any government appointee involved in this business, unlike previous administration. The Galamsey seat was in the Flagstaff House under Nana Akufo-Addo. That's where they were doing it, starting everything there. Here, you won't have it. It's not happening under this administration because eyes on it, and you can see the work the NIMO people are doing. They are doing fantastic. They are chasing the people down there and rest. You see, there are a lot of recalcitrant people in this country who would use every means to bring in these Chinese people they've arrested. They come in disguise. They are not coming as people who are coming to be in this Galamsey thing. They disguise themselves in a different, as if they are coming for some business or other thing. Before you say Jack, they are out there. And so then they will continue to arrest them and will look for their kingpins who are bringing them. Some of the water bodies are now very good. They have now been very clean. But government is also doing something about the current one. Look, it is another aspect of which we must take our eye on is this sand winning. You know, the sand winning too is also creating a lot. Yes, I know what is happening up north, especially the water crisis in Tamale and all that. That's a result of sand winning, which they are dealing with. Okay, government is trying to regulate that aspect because we cannot stop building. After construction, we will continue to build houses and all that. And our brothers who are into the business of bringing us the sea sand and other things, they need to be regulated. And that is why government is doing something about it, to make sure that we regulate how to win the sand so that it doesn't affect the water bodies. Because as soon as they continue this thing, it will spoil the pump machines and all that. They will continue to replacing it. We cannot. Government will never ban sand winning. It's something that has come to stay. It's an age-old thing. Because we continue to build. Everybody needs houses to this construction business needs the sea sand, they need gravel and all that. But they need to be what? Regulated. And that is why we brought in the responsible mining. Unfortunately, during the launch, I lost my boss in the process. We were going to launch this responsible mining. That's how government is trying to fight this issue. And then so we should be thanking His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for taking the bull by the horn on this matter. This issue of Galamsey that has come is something that was being in distraction for 8 damn good years under administration of Nana Akufo-Addo. And even to the extent when they were exiting, you see the number of excavators they brought and dumped over there. If we hadn't stopped it, imagine all these excavators had moved into the system. We would have been in shit. I don't know what was their mentality for doing that. After destroying the forest cover and the water bodies, they were not satisfied. A new government was coming. They were still importing more excavators to come and unleash them on the new government. These are the kind of people. So fighting it, within 10 months, we have done your man's job. And we will need more time, and I can assure you, within the shortest possible time. That's why they're chasing. Yesterday, I was watching a footage. Somebody was trying to interfere. The way they dealt with him over there, dealt with the gentleman very well. That, look, we are not here for jokes. Because of your parochial interest, the whole country should be on its knees. Because you want to make money, sharp money, we should be on it. We are creating jobs for the young people so that they will leave this dangerous business. You know, just recently, some people died. I think one of this thing came on them. Yes, it's a terrible business. Okay. Very dangerous. And so we are creating sustainable job for them, for the young people who are in those areas, so that they will live. I know most of them, they don't even like it. It's just the survival that they are into. So we'll create jobs and make sure that they leave these water bodies. Thankfully enough, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, under his watch, no license has been issued to anybody to go into forests or water bodies to mine since we came into office. Okay. That is a mark of leadership. Okay. Unlike some people were just giving it like trophies. They were just sharing it like trophies to them, and then they go and destroy this thing. And now we are now bedeviled with this problem. We now come to resolve it. And they are the same people who are sitting somewhere and be making noise, holding press conference and telling, after destroying the whole thing, we are coming to resolve it, and they're doing press conference. They should allow the system to work. The system is working. The water will be clean pretty soon. Look, we will resolve it. And I can assure you, no, because nobody is now mining in the water bodies. You are not allowed to go near there. Most of the forest has been recovered, and they are now training people to see how best we can recover the lands against and green the area very well, because farming is good. Farming. You see, if we channel their efforts into farming. Look, I sit here, I have a farm. I have a very good farms around my community, Bimbila and Wulesi area. I have farms over there. As a young man, don't think that farming is for the ages, for our oldies. It's a very lucrative business, but people don't know. You go in there, there are a lot of goodies in the soil over there. Okay. Let's channel our efforts through that. Let's not destroy the forest because of these minerals that we are not stopping mining. Nobody is going to stop mining. Don't forget. That's what we are saying. We do what we call what? Responsible what? Mining. Okay. And that is why we are saying illegal mining will stop it. That one there was Galamsey will be a thing of the past very soon.
And then wrap up for me.
Yes. With the fight against Galamsey, stated that we would only come to appreciate what the government is doing, what the president and Emmanuel Kofi-Boa as the sector minister are doing when our waters begin to turn blue and our forests begin to turn green. You understand? If we do not see that, in as much as they are working so hard, which I appreciate, I mean, I have stated on many platforms, even including TV3 here, that they have pushed so hard to ensure that they deal with the issues of Galamsey, looking at the steps they have taken, synchronization of the task forces in the formation of NAMOS, the steps in what's the name, redrawing or the act,
the law that allowed the mining forest reserve, revoking it.
Yes, revoking the law. In the first place, that was the genesis of the bigger troubles we faced as a country. When we had passed an act to allow mining in our forest reserves. That was the genesis of our troubles. And it is for that matter some of us say that the actual administration has no locus, they have no moral right to comment on the issues of Galamsey, because you brought in a regulation that allowed the work of these Galamseyers in a mass production. And so, if we would want these water bodies to be restored, we have stated a complete, at least, year ban on all small-scale mining activities. Lawyer, you get it. Let us ban these activities. Nobody goes to their lands, nobody goes to their concessions. Let us see what is happening. Let us start the activities of the land or the forest reclamation. Let us begin to fill these pits. Let us begin to grow these trees and plants for the next 1 year. Okay. Let us see if the water bodies in their natural form will not begin to be restored.
Okay.
I agree. We ought to be able to employ technology that would be able to help clean these water bodies. All right. But my fear when these aspects are talking is that in the employment or the application of these technologies, especially those that has to do with heavy chemicals, would we not be introducing other chemicals or metallic substances that would also be disadvantageous to us as a people after these water bodies have been restored?
Okay.
Have we been able to weigh the merits and the demerits of it?
Okay.
You understand? But if we have allowed all activities around these places to cease for a year or two, I am not a technical expert. I do not have knowledge in it. But the little I know about natural bodies, water bodies, is that they themselves will begin to restore.
Okay.
They themselves will begin to clean up. Then we would appreciate what the president and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources are doing.
Okay.
And the other thing that the lawyers and the human rights people are fighting, as some of us about, is the introduction of this shoot to kill thing. You see, lawyer, you are surprised to know or to find out that yesterday they arrested some Chinese people. Okay, if we had released some missiles from the air into these forest reserves, and we have had about 5 or 6 of them, their corpses being carried to their hometown to be buried, they would know we are serious. Because at this point, when you have gone to arrest them and you prosecute them, what happens? They serve a few years in jail, they come back to their assets, they come back to their money. You understand?
Okay.
Once we arrest them, as part of it, we seize their assets, we seize their money. But what is most important is, if they begin to, they are killing people.
Okay.
I see it more as a genocide than even an ecocide.
Okay.
You understand?
All
So
right.
if they are killing us, and mistakenly, the Air Force and the NAMOS people also fly over and mistakenly release a missile, and they go in a very calm and gentle way, they won't go into the forest reserves again.
All right. That would be too drastic. That would be too drastic. That would be too
I asked a
drastic.
question anytime somebody has posed that it is too drastic. I said, I can't eat contomere again. I can't get fish to eat
That's
again.
fine. That's fine. I mean, those are
Now,
very...
my brothers and my sisters in these Galamsey affected areas are giving birth to children that are deformed.
Deformed, yeah.
There was this pregnant woman, I think, around the Konongo area, who woke up in the morning to go ease herself and fell in a pit and died. Please, I ask, Blay, is she not a human being?
She is.
Was she not buried? Because of somebody's greediness, somebody's, I don't want to use the word. So at the end of the day, if we also fly over these forest reserves, and out of negligence, we also release a missile, and they go.
Anyways, that's all time. That's all time will allow us this morning on the missile notes by Nana Sapo is political aide to Alan Kojo Chairman with the Movement for Change. He joined us this morning. The incoming political party, we are told we'll hear from them very soon.
Why are you rushing?
Sofo Tanko Rashid Computer is the CEO of GIFEC. Dr. Josiah Koba is a former principal lecturer at the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration. Samson Wolanyo Deklu also joined us. He's a technical lead for built environments for the Bureau of Public Safety. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we have some sports for you. We'll tell you all about the teams that have qualified for the World Cup. Plus, there were some big games yesterday. I know Germany, they were in action, other teams as well. The international window gradually coming to a close. We'll give you the latest on the score lines and the highlights of some of the games that took place yesterday. Stay tuned in.